Imagine a time when the automobile was a novel concept, a luxury few could afford. That's the era of the Ford Model T. This iconic vehicle, introduced to the world in 1908, transformed the very fabric of society. It was the brainchild of the legendary Henry Ford, a man with a vision to make the automobile affordable for the average American. The Model T, fondly known as the Tin Lizzie, was more than just a car. It was a symbol of innovation, an embodiment of resilience and determination. It represented a shift in the way people perceived transportation. No longer was an automobile a luxury item. Instead, it was a practical tool, a means to an end. The Ford Model T was not just a car, it was the catalyst for a revolution. Indeed, the Ford Model T changed the course of automotive history, setting the standard for future mass-produced vehicles. The Model T may not have today's infotainment systems, but it had its own unique features. Let's take a journey back in time when simplicity was the theme and functionality was the goal. The interior of the Model T was a model of utilitarian design. Its instrument panel was as straightforward as they come. No dazzling array of digital displays, just a simple gauge for the fuel and a switch for the ignition. This iconic vehicle didn't even feature a conventional speedometer. You'd have to rely on your own senses and the rhythm of the road beneath you to gauge your speed. It was a different era, requiring a different kind of driver. The Model T didn't offer plush leather seats or climate control. It was about getting from point A to point B, not surrounding you with luxury. But don't be fooled by its simplicity. While it may seem Spartan compared to modern vehicles, the Model T's interior was revolutionary for its time. Under the hood, the Ford Model T was quite a marvel. This iconic car was powered by a hearty 20-horsepower four-cylinder engine that was a testament to the innovative engineering of its time. The engine was cast en bloc, a method that was practically unheard of in the early 20th century. This production technique involved casting all cylinders in a single piece, contributing to the Model T's robustness and reliability. This engine was not just about power, but also about simplicity and effectiveness. The Model T was designed to be easy to drive with a 2-speed transmission and a pedal-based control system. It was a car that almost anyone could drive and maintain, a true democratization of the automobile. But perhaps one of the most groundbreaking aspects of the Model T's engine was its use of a magneto-ignition system. Unlike many of its contemporaries that relied on batteries, the Model T generated its own electricity. This was a significant step forward in automotive technology, making the car more self-sufficient and less dependent on external power sources. The Model T's engine and mechanical design were far ahead of their time, setting the stage for many of the engineering principles we see in modern vehicles. The simplicity, the power, and the self-reliance embedded in this design truly revolutionized the automotive industry. The Model T's engine, while modest by today's standards, helped pave the way for automotive engineering as we know it. In terms of speed, the Ford Model T was no slouch. Back in the early 20th century, when the world was still adjusting to the idea of horseless carriages, this remarkable vehicle could reach top speeds of around 45 miles per hour. This might not sound like much to us now, but consider this. The average horse gallops at a speed of about 25 to 30 miles per hour. The Model T, therefore, was a significant leap forward, nearly doubling the speed that people were accustomed to. This was a feat of engineering that truly marked the dawn of a new era in transportation. It was not just about getting from point A to point B. It was about doing it faster and more efficiently. It was about progress and the promise of a future where distance was no longer an obstacle. While it won't win any drag races today, the Model T's speed was more than sufficient for the early 20th century. Fuel efficiency wasn't a major concern in the Model T's era, but it was surprisingly economical. Now let's dive into the details. The Model T, also known as the Tin Lizzie, was an early innovator in terms of fuel economy. It averaged around 13 to 21 miles per gallon. Quite an achievement considering the technology of the time. This was partly due to its lightweight design and the simplicity of its 2-speed transmission. The Model T's engine, while not particularly powerful by today's standards, was tuned for efficiency, ensuring that every drop of fuel was used to its fullest potential. Moreover, the Model T could run on gasoline, kerosene, or ethanol, which was a significant advantage in the early 20th century when gasoline wasn't always readily available. This versatile fuel consumption made it a pioneer in its time. So, while the Model T might not win any races with modern cars, its fuel efficiency was remarkable for its era. It's clear that even in its time, the Model T was mindful of fuel consumption. Maintaining a Model T was a different affair compared to today's vehicles. The Model T's design was a masterclass in simplicity. This simplicity was the key to its ease of repair and maintenance. The Model T didn't have the complex electronics that many of today's cars have. Its mechanical parts were straightforward and uncomplicated. Even the engine, the heart of the car, was a simple four-cylinder design that was easy to work on. The Model T was also built with durability in mind. Its sturdy construction meant that it could withstand the rough and tumble of early 20th century roads. This durability, coupled with its simple design, made the Model T a low-maintenance vehicle. Routine maintenance tasks such as changing the oil and replacing worn-out parts could be done by the owner with a basic set of tools. This is a far cry from today's vehicles, which often require specialized knowledge and equipment for even the simplest of maintenance tasks. The Model T was designed to be rugged and reliable, making it a low-maintenance vehicle for its time. Perhaps the most impressive aspect of the Model T was its affordability. When it first rolled off the assembly line, the price tag read $850. That was still a tidy sum back then, but it was a massive step towards making cars accessible to the everyday person. But it didn't stop there. The genius of Henry Ford and his team was in their relentless pursuit of efficiency. They pioneered the assembly line, a game changer that revolutionized not just the automotive industry but manufacturing as a whole. By the 1920s, this efficiency had driven the cost of a Model T down to just $260. That's a staggering drop, making it the most affordable car of its time. It wasn't just a car, it was a symbol of mobility and freedom that was now within reach of the average American. The Ford Model T truly lived up to Henry Ford's vision of an affordable car for the average American. So there you have it, the Ford Model T, a vehicle that truly revolutionized the automotive world. A marvel of its time, it boasted innovative features, impressive performance, and a historical significance that can't be overstated. It transformed not just the automotive industry but society as a whole, making car ownership within reach of the average person. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Stay tuned for more fascinating insights into automotive history. Until next time, drive safe.